Great day to you all. I hope that you've all woken up super grateful to be alive again another day in this experience. And I hope that you've set that high vibe for yourself. How do you do that? Tell yourself that you're grateful to be alive again another day in this experience. So I had some questions that came to me, and I'm, as always so grateful for all of the questions because that means that you're expanding your knowledge, okay? And that's what the point of all of this is. So, guys, I'm not even going to bother with doing the double platform stuff. I will deal with TikTok later, like I said. Look, I had some really great questions. I want you guys to realize something, though, before I get into the questions. You know, we truly respond to things in our life the way that we believe we're supposed to. And we have been conditioned to do so. So, why do we react to people, places, and things the way we do? Because we have been conditioned and programmed to react a certain way. So, what do I mean? Well, we have been conditioned to believe that if there is somebody that is not so nice in our face, that we are to respond to that, or if something happens, our embedded responses to that are according to how we watched others cope with these situations. So, somebody asked me, Toby, you seem very unsensitive to grief. And I don't hear you talking about grief. Well, any loss in your life, it doesn't matter what it is, you have to grieve your loss. When I had to let parts of me die throughout the years, I had to grieve the loss of my old self. So, somebody said, Toby, you seem to get over loss. Well, in all honesty, when you've had to experience as much loss in your life as I have, well, you get desensitized to it. So, like I mentioned yesterday on the live, you know, if you continuously rub yourself at the same spot all the time, you're going to desensitize to it. Well, it's not that I don't have compassion, because I do. And it's not that I don't have empathy, I do. It's just that I have suffered so much loss in my life that it has become a regular thing. And I don't mean regular like an everyday thing, but I mean like for me feeling loss, well, I understand the magnitude of not allowing myself to sit in that. Okay? Somebody actually asked me also, Toby, I understand that your knowledge is very vast, but you could never understand what I'm going through because I lost a child. Well, to that I will say this. I've lost 3. Okay? So I know what that feels like. All right? So don't think for 1 minute that I don't know what that is. Because I very much know what that is. I actually, one of the 3, I carried a dead baby within me for a month before they took it out of me. That was the most devastating time of my life. So not only did I lose the child I was carrying, but they left it in me for a month. Okay. Now, so I understand loss. But this is why I also say that my 2 children are my biggest blessings. Because I lost 3 of them where it wasn't my choice. Okay? So, yes, I totally understand and have felt for myself what it feels like to lose a child. Yes, I do. I also know what it feels like to lose people. I have lost many people in my life from a young age. I've lost friends, I've lost family members, and I've also lost people that I consider to be family throughout my whole life. I have dealt with so much death that, yes, some would say that I'm desensitized to it. But it's not that I don't feel it, but I just don't feel it to the magnitude as what I used to because I've felt it so many times. Okay? And that's just the way it is. So I don't sit back and belittle somebody else's grief. But you have to also understand, while you are grieving the loss of somebody, you are not keeping them alive through the love. Because what blocks your heart chakra is grief. Okay? So I understand that. But I also understand the process of having to grieve any loss in your life, not just a human. Okay? You have to grieve the loss of your hopes and dreams if you've lost them. You have to grieve whatever you're letting go of. Because to you, it's a loss. But the way I see things, yes, there's loss of great magnitude for a lot of people. But you can free yourself of that by knowing that we're all connected, we're all one, and even though they may end their life experience in the physical form, energetically they're always here. No matter who it is you've lost, they're always connected to you. But I understand that now. Whereas through my life, I didn't always understand that. But yes, I appreciate the questions. And I have no problem coming out here and answering them. Okay? So yeah, don't think for a second that I don't know what grieving is. Okay? I have had major losses in my life that the grief of it crippled me. Okay? Literally. And to come back from that was excruciating. Excruciating on myself, excruciating on my body, and excruciating for anybody close to me. Okay? And we all feel things to the magnitude of which we feel them. So, as much as you loved the situation or the person or the place or the thing, whatever you lose, well, yeah, you're going to feel the grief to the magnitude of which you loved. That's normal. But no, I'm not I'm not unsensitive to it. I have just been desensitized by it. See, there's a huge difference. It's just like me with feeling pain. I have to feel a lot of pain in order to actually feel it because of the magnitude of my pain threshold. So, but I just don't let things affect me the way that everybody does sometimes, you know? I see things for what they are. I see them clearly for what it is, and it's accepting things. And we don't want to accept things, and that's what keeps us in the state of grieving, is the non-acceptance of it. The why me? Well, why not you? You have a specific soul contract and you're going to learn whatever you have to learn. So if it's learning major loss, well, then it's learning major loss. If it is, it depends on what you accepted for your soul contract. And you know something? Everybody has uniqueness about them and what they have to live and learn in this life experience. But yeah, you see, the major loss in my life has fueled me to be a better person, has fueled me to realize that time, we never know how much time we have. So, all of the major losses in my life, excuse me, have actually fueled me to be a better being. Do I have moments that grief arises? Of course I do. Of course. Those embedded stamp memories of certain things or certain people or... And you know what? It's very difficult for me to be connected the way I am spiritually and to have people in spirit that I can communicate with, but I can't hug them here in this world. That's hard. But you gotta let things be sometimes. And grief is real. See what I mean? Like, I think of those that I want here, that I'm still connected to. That's the hard part. Okay? Because life would be so much easier if they were here. So it's not that I'm unsensitive to it. I just feel and see things a lot differently. And I'm forced to live it, that's all. And I have to accept it for what it is. I can't wish it to be different. I have to accept it. So yeah, sometimes it's hard. But accepting is the key to helping you stop grieving. While you're grieving, you're not living. While you're grieving, comes from lack. Grief is a natural... Hey, Carol. Great morning to you. Love ya. Grief is a natural process, but we can't let it consume us. Yeah, it's true. But people think also, too, that grief is just losing somebody. There's so many things that we have to grieve in our life and get over it. Always. And everybody, we feel so many different magnitudes of loss in our life. And you have to allow yourself to grieve anything and get over it. But how do you do that? You accept it. Yeah. Somebody had asked me if I was insensitive to grief, and I had just said, no, it's just that I'm a little desensitized to it, But yeah. And look, the magnitude of what you're going to feel in grief is the magnitude of what you loved. And it doesn't always have to do with a person. It could be a situation, it could be a circumstance, it could be anything. But any loss in your life, you got to grieve it. You have to accept that it's gone. It's as simple as that. But yeah, you got to get real with it. And even every time I was battling to stay alive, I had to grieve the old self that died, eh? Like, even who I am today, I still grieve the loss of my old self. How does this happen? Well, because when I'm in situations or scenarios or circumstances where I have to react or respond to things or do certain things. There's sometimes that I wish that I was my old self. I really do. Even though that person is sometimes not the kindest, I feel like sometimes I miss that old me. I really do. Because she was really fun, no matter what. You know, like really fun. Life of the party. Nothing would stop her. Well, okay. I grieve that old self. Because I'm not that her. I'm not her anymore. But grief is a real process. So, guys, yeah, I was asked about that, and that's what I think about it. But like I say, you know, I really appreciate the question coming from the woman saying to me, well, I get that you've had a rough life, but you would never understand what I'm going through. Well, yes, I do. I do. Like I've said, you know what, and I talk about it in my 4th book, but like I said, I've lost 3 children. So I know what it is. I know what it feels like to lose a child. Okay? I know what it feels like to lose people in my life. I've lost a lot. Guys, I've had teenage friends. I've lost friends from a young age. I was a teenager when I lost these people. Before even a teenager, I lost so many people in my life. So it's not that, like I said, somebody asked me about being insensitive to it. No, I'm not unsensitive to grief. I have just been desensitized from feeling it so much in my life. So it doesn't affect me the way it affects another person. And I also understand that any loss, how do you keep these people alive? It's through the love in your heart that you have for them. So, the people you've lost in your life, yeah, you need to talk about them. Yeah, you need to express what you feel. You can't keep that bottled in. Because the process of accepting grief is actually working through how it's making you feel. And that's really important because it doesn't just mean people. You know, it could be anything that you love in your life that you lose. Well, guys, no matter what it is you're feeling, push past it. Yes, things can upset us, but like I've always said, 60 to 90 seconds. You see, talking about that before, yeah, I can get choked up. But if you allow it to be what it is, 60, 90 seconds, it's done after. It's done. And then you could move on from it. But if you don't allow that for yourself and you want to sit there and entangle yourself in all kinds of thoughts about it, and all of the, oh, what could I have done differently? And what, you know, why does this have to happen? And all of these questions that throw you in a downward vicious spiral. Don't do it. Don't do it. And when you realize that everybody around you is merely to enhance your experience, well, you shouldn't be taking people for granted anyway. Because time is not promised to anybody. And you should be getting the most out of your experience with whoever's in your experience. Heartfully. So that when their time does come, you're not full of regrets. Because that's a lot of the magnitude of grief, is the magnitude of regret in which somebody carries towards this being. Like, and that's facts. You regret time not spent. You regret not showing up when you could have. You regret not being who you could have been in their life. You regret all kinds of things You possibly regret how they've treated you. You possibly regret that there was no closure. You didn't get to say goodbye. There's a whole bag of stuff that comes with that. Well, you got to unpack that. Because that really does affect you, just like everything else. It really does. And when you start in that cycle of the thought processing, instead of just staying in your heart space where you're supposed to feel it, holy cow, it'll take you on a ride. I know. I've been there way too many times. So yeah, guys, I really appreciate the question. But no, I'm not unsensitive to it. I've just been desensitized by the amount of loss I've felt in my life. So that's how I can get over things quick. And yeah, for the woman that thought I can't understand the depth of her grief, yes, I do. I do. Because no mother should have to lose a child. Okay? But we all go through the things that we are meant to make us a stronger, better being. So I get that initially it doesn't make you a stronger, better being. But when you lose a child, I can tell you one thing. It makes you protect every single living child on this earth more. That's what it did to me. That's why I value children the way that I do. And that's why I just love children. I really do. I think they're amazing. But yeah, it's through losing, again, not even one, but three, that, hey, yeah, this is why I am the way I am. It's all an accumulative life experience that makes me who I am. And when I say I've been through it all, yes, I have. But I don't sit here as a bitter being today. I sit here as a better being today. Proudly. You know, this is why I say there's a lot of stuff that I've said in my books that is just the icing on the cake. And that has been enough for some people to digest, going, holy shit. But really? You guys have no idea the magnitude of what my life has genuinely been and the accumulation of it all. I said it before, if my life was a movie, you'd be sitting on the edge of your seat the whole time. Because the things that I look back at and say, wow, I had to live that, it shocks me sometimes. But this is why I tell everybody, if I can do it, and if I could stay above water, and no matter how I may feel in the moment that I'm drowning or not feeling right, that I can genuinely pick myself back up out of it, guys, you can too. You really can, no matter what you're feeling. So instead of looking at problems in your life and drowning from the effects of those, look for solutions for yourself to feel better, no matter what it is you're feeling. Why? Because you matter. You're worth it. You're deserving of feeling the freedom of not hurting yourself by your own thoughts. When we can't accept things, it forces us down a gauntlet. For anybody who doesn't know what a gauntlet is, look it up. When you realize the magnitude of what you're inducing in your own being from these things that we allow, you're going to want to change that within your being. I know I have. I don't want anything running through me that doesn't feel good. I don't want anything near me that doesn't feel good. It's as simple as that. Why? Because I have a conscious choice every day whether I'm going to allow myself to feel better or bitter. There's no way I'm going to end up to be that bitter soul. No way. And that's a conscious choice. So, guys, yeah, I appreciate that question. That, sent me down a rabbit hole this morning. But anyway, guys, set that high vibe. It's really chilly out there this morning, but it's crisp and fresh and it's amazing out there. I've already been out. Yeah. Guys, have a great day. I'm going to be out to finish the rest of my book tonight, about 7 o'clock, 7:30. And, yeah, like I said, guys, don't think that there's something that I don't understand when it comes to feeling certain ways. Because I really think that the totality of my life experience has been just to simply understand every circumstance and situation so that I could help another being. And that's all it is. And that's how I look at the totality of my life. Yeah, I've had a lot of rough experiences. But I genuinely believe it's to assist others with getting through these same situations. And that's what I'll do. I won't become a bitter person no matter what experience I have to live. Because everything's for learning. And it's supposed to be to learn how to be a better being. So you either take that learning on or you don't. But I do, honestly. Guys, I love you all. Set that high vibe. I will be out tonight to finish my book. And in the meantime, I'm diving back into writing another book. So I love you all. Have a great day. Carol, it was great to see you out here. I love you lots. Send you big hugs and kisses. Guys, have an amazing day. And no matter what you're living, don't make it harder on yourself by the stuff that you're feeding your own body by your thoughts. It is what it is. Accept it. And don't beat yourself up more than what you already have to feel. Anyway, I love you all. Set a high vibe. Have a great day. Peace.